We are assembling the Princess, the Knight, and the Dragon pop-up card. So I've got the pieces kind of all piled up. The Princess and the Knight both have the same center insert, so I went ahead and put this one together already so you can see how that looks when it's assembled. Here's, find the pieces to the castle. And we have pieces to the knight. Okay, so what we're going to work on first is the base. And I've already put the panels on, and I have two of the bases already prepared. And here you can see that we're going to be gluing down this 1/4 inch spacing, which brings the top and the bottom inside the card. That helps it stay open better. Once you pop it up, then you can hold it without worrying about it just collapsing. So let's, to do that, you're going to fold this down even with the top and then fold the other score line back. And that creates this little space here that we are going to glue down. I'll point out too that there's only one piece that has 2 slots in it, and this is your top. Okay, the one with the extra slot that's on this score line, this is the top of your card. In case you have a pattern paper, that makes a difference which way you put it on. So I like to start with the base so that these sections have plenty of time to dry. So move those out of the way. So you just want to hold this a few extra seconds. Make sure it stays down. I apologize for the look of my hands. It has been so cold and my hands are chapped and raw and they just look horrible. So you're going to fold each one of these sections the way that I showed you, and then we're going to glue all 4 of them down. And then we're just going to set this aside. And you see here we've got these 1/4 inch spacings, the front and the back. And then just set this aside and it can dry while we're assembling our card. So the castle is the center. I've already glued my 2 pieces together and I let this dry under my mat. And we've got a couple of different, the 2 skinny rectangular pieces go on these 2 towers. And then you have a bigger tower and a shorter tower. So that one gets the biggest one and that goes there. So we're just going to go ahead and glue these on. I got these mixed up and I had 2 of the shorter towers when I was working on the first one, so I'm glad I worked on this separately. So I just put a little bit of glue around the window and that'll be enough to hold it on because we're going to glue these pieces down. So you're really just putting enough glue here to hold it in place until we glue it all the way down. Okay, so that takes care of these pieces in short fashion. The other thing, because I've used the same color gray on all of my pieces, I want to ink some of my edges. If you switched up shades of gray, you wouldn't need to ink. And you don't have to ink if it's all the same shade too, but I like it to stand out a little bit. When they're on top of each other, I don't want it to just blend in. My pad is kind of falling apart, so I'm getting flicks here. I'll have to wipe those off in a minute. So just slightly go over the edges. This is like an ink pad that you would use in an office. It really wasn't that much cheaper. It has a hard pad, so I use my dauber. You could use a cotton ball. You could probably use a Q-tip. Just anything to not put too much ink down. That pad really puts a lot of ink on, so I don't use it directly on my paper. I like to use a dauber. Okay, and then on this one, I'm just gonna do just these top bricks right here because everything else is covered. There we go. Okay. Oh yeah, and I did want to I didn't get a brown out, so I'm just going to use a little bit of black around my road. Okay. All right. So you want to start with the biggest tower. I'm going to put it on first. And then your medium tower. Now you can see why I inked the edges, because these two colors right on top of each other, I mean the same color right on top of each other would make that a little bit hard to distinguish. I'm putting these on first while my piece is flat because this is a little higher than the two edges here, and so it's not a flat surface when you put this on. And I just want to make sure that these are flat and stuck down good. Then this piece we're just gonna center right on there. Our drawbridge. We're going to center it right in here. Okay. And then this fits right there, so we're just going to put this right on. And now that I've put glue on this, I'm going to let that dry for just a second, because, and if you've watched any of my videos before, I have mentioned that 2-inch space from here up, and I have definitely 2 inches. I have more than 2 inches. So I think I'm going to pop this piece right here with the foam dots. I'm just going to raise this up a little bit. I didn't do that on the other one. But now that I'm looking at it, I think it can handle it. So I'm going to do that. I'm trying to feel it to see if I do need to cut a piece, and I'm going to cut a piece to put closer to the top. My glue is still kind of wet, so I don't want to get my fingers in it too much and make a mess out of. There we go. This will be cute. I want it flying across the room. I do have a trash can beside me, but not where that backing flipped to. Okay. So if you do use your foam tape, I noticed when I was pushing this on there, because this has got a little bit of bulk, you just have to be sure to really push it down. There. Oh yeah, I like that better. Better than the flat one. That really adds a lot. Okay. And then your road goes all the way to the corner and then right up to the dungeon door. I mean the drawbridge. Okay, that's how your road goes. And that piece is complete. And now we're going to pull in our soldier. And we're just going to start layering these pieces in. I'll probably do some inking on some of these because he's all the same color gray too. I did not use two different shades. I just decided not to at the last minute. But that's the nice part about inking. If you don't have the different shades that you want, all you have to do is ink one of the pieces. I just want to check out his, I want to put his like his body armor piece on first because I think it's a little bit tucked under his head. So I'm just gonna hit these edges here. Now I know this piece, this is like his shield plate. It's going to go like there. And it is the curve of his head. So you can put his head on before you put that piece on. But you want to put the backing on his eyes. You could leave them like the gray, but I think that would be a lot of gray. So just add his little eyes on here. And his head's going to line up right to these two curves. Right up to the top. Oops. And this piece lines up. You can see the little point on the top of his helmet. A point lines up to it and it goes edge to edge. Okay, but I think I'm going to try to get, I don't know if I can get it in here. I'm going to try to get these edges on this faceplate a little bit. I don't want too much. I don't want to do the whole thing. But I just want to see if I can make these stand out just a little bit more. Since it's the same color as what's behind it. Uh-oh, I just threw his hand on the floor. I'm sorry, give me just a second to see if I can find the piece I just brushed off. There it goes. Okay. All right. And again, you have that point, and then the two sides line right up. And then you also have the point there. So, oh, but don't glue that down yet. Hope you didn't jump ahead too far. For his hair, I think I'm going to glue it behind here first. So these 2 points just go right under each side, okay? Just like that. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue here around the edge. And I'm just going to place that hair right in there. Like so. Okay. There we go. I did get out some pink. I think I'm gonna just kind of touch his face here under his eyes just a little bit. Again, I'm doing the edges of this shield just to help it stand out a little better. And the heart goes right in the center. And that's just going to go right here. And I'm not going to pop that with foam tape because it's right at the bottom of this piece, so it's part of the 2 inches that are going to go down into the card. And for the sword, I'm going to put the handle on. And then this other piece here, the oval piece, is his hand. Then we're just going to glue it right there to his arm. I haven't glued that down yet. And I'm just going to put glue just on this one side here that's touching. There. So now the knight is done. There is a heart to go behind here. I don't know that I really like it. I mean, it looks cute like that. It would be fine to do the card without it, to leave it off. Or you can add it on. So it's a little bit flimsier than I thought it would be. You may want to double your base if you decide to use it. And I've given you 2 hearts so that you can do one in white. That gives you a good place to write on the back of it, since this is the back layer. So it is good for that purpose. Okay, and now we're going to put together our princess. And I have already inked the skirt panel and her sleeve panels with blue, because again I'm using the same color, so I wanted that to have a little more contrast. And we're going to start with the main body piece, which I did in all blue, because this, you're going to do whatever color you want her dress to be. And just like with him, we're going to glue the black in the back. And for her, you're just going to kind of center her. Unfortunately, her hair is bigger than her face, so you're just going to see where her face kind of touches there. And you can even kind of place your hair to make sure that you're getting that in the right spot. Maybe it needs to go up a little bit higher. Oh, well, it looks like that's what you can do. You could take the face, put the hair on first. That will make it easier, because that gives you more of an idea of where it goes. So I'm going to just put the glue here around. And you just want these 2 bottom corners just to come right down to the bottom of her face. And now you'll see exactly where to put her face, because it's already on. Okay. I'm just going to put this little band on. This goes on her hair. Right here, holds her bun. Don't want to do her sleeves yet, it's not time. This little skirt goes on, you can see where it fits on those 2 edges, so go ahead and put this in place. Now she does have a teeny tiny little mouth. I just thought it looked so sweet. You don't have to have it, but look at how sweet that is. So, and I have a pickup tool, but If you have a pin that's been in your glue bottle, it'll be a little bit tacky, just tacky enough to touch a small piece and place it in place like I just did. Now, before you go gluing her shoulder pieces down, you just want to kind of take a look at, because her arms, she's wearing white gloves, and you just want to kind of glue them on before you put your sleeve puffs in place. Okay, so I'm just going to put the glue here on the tip. They're kind of, her arms are kind of shaped like jelly beans almost. You don't want them too far up, you don't want them too far down. She is going to be holding a heart. Okay, like that. So you might want to maybe glue that kind of right there at the point of her dress. Nope. A little bit higher. Almost to the top, but not quite. Is where that's going to go. About right there, just like that. Now I think I'm only going to put the glue, well, one drop maybe. Let's hope that that turns out okay. So there she is, very sweet. She's holding her heart. And now we've got our dragon. Our dragon does not have a castle, and he's bigger because he's a dragon. He's on a dirt hill, and again I've already glued my two pieces together. I want his wings and some of his accent pieces to be black. So whatever color you want, like his wings and his tail and his horns to be, is what color you want to do this piece. Okay, it's kind of chewed up. Okay, so we're just going to glue this on. I didn't do a great job lining that up, but it's not too bad. Oh, he does not have a tail sticking off of the main piece. Bummer. So I got ugly glue hanging. Now he does not have black that goes behind his eyes because I made his body black, so. But you do want to put the main body piece on first before you put his head on, because it just tucks right under his head. And then this This is like his chest, and you're just going to put that, line that right up to that piece. I think I'm going to go ahead and put his heart on his tail. And then his head. Here's his snout, and I did make 2 ovals to go behind this because I wanted it white. These are optional. You can just have the dark green showing through. You can do a completely different color if you want. And this just lines right up, side to side, and right along the bottom, just like that. Not cute. Okay, so this is the center. Whoops. And the heart's the back. Everyone has a heart that goes on the back. They're all done the same way. His front piece, oh, well, he's holding. Hang on, we're not quite done with that one. He's holding his heart. And I'm just putting glue right on the edge of his hand. Just like that. And I think I'll be okay if I use some foam tape on this. Now I'm just going to glue these together. And then these are just going to go like at the edge. And we're going to glue them right on the edge of this little brown hill. Maybe a little bit more. Okay, so we're just going to, because these are going to go out in front of them, okay? Just like that. All right, now let's pull our card in and take a look at the pieces. So again, this one with the slit on the fold is the front half, and that is the one that your anchor piece goes in. Oopsie. So I'm gonna pull these out in reverse order, because that is how they are going to go back in. And it takes a little bit of finagling, but your piece slides in the top one and through to the bottom, and push it down tight. Flip it over and then fold your tab up, and we glue it to the bottom of the card. Okay. And see, that gives you a nice big surface for writing a message on. Now on the front piece, this on the right side with it looking at the inside of the card. On my right, this is the back and it's facing me, and on the left you want your pieces facing down. And you're going to slide it through the top and down through the bottom. And just like on the other one, you're going to flip it over. Oopsie. And then we're going to glue this in place. Okay, and now for the centerpiece. I think I'm going to use my popped up castle on the girl because she's a little bit shorter than the knight. I wish I would have popped that one up as well, but I didn't think about it till later. So your centerpiece goes in a little bit different. I mean, it slides all the way in to the bottom. You'll see it stops right where this piece folds up. And we're going to glue this piece to just the center. Okay, so just to the center. Lift this up, hold it down, make sure that this is going to stay. Then lift this tab up here, and again we're only gluing it to the center piece, and glue this down. Your center piece here is the piece that pulls the mechanism up and down. So if you don't have this glued, it won't work properly. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take these two tabs and we're going to glue them to each other. Okay, so just the tabs. We're going to put glue here and here, and only on the pink tabs we're going to glue these together front and back. Okay, and you do have a little bit of bulk, so you have to make sure you really press that down. And then when you take a peek inside, you can see our tabs are glued together and our inserts are glued to the bottom. And so now we're just going to close it up. And then, see, that piece for me is a little bit floppy. There is our princess. So she is finished. Now let's pull in another one, and I'm looking for the flap that's in the center because that's the front. We're going to insert the knight and the castle. And the heart. Okay, open it up, pull these pieces out front to back, Now see, these are upside down. This one's right side up. I'm going to slide it through to the slit on the back. Glue it in place. Flip it back over. Start with our knight face down. Slide it through the back one and down through the bottom one. Flip it over. And glue our tab down. Flip it back over. Now our center piece. I'm going to insert that. We're going to glue the tabs to our center insert. And I'm going to mention again, you probably want to double the base on your heart, because I didn't on mine and it is a little bit floppy. Okay. Now you want to, the top tab is down flat, your bottom tab is folded up. Then we're going to glue them to the tabs on this side. Bring it over. Glue it down. Again, there is a little bit of bulk there, so you really have to press. You got your tabs glued together. We got our inserts glued to the bottom. We're going to close it up. There is our prince, or knight. A knight doesn't have to be a prince. And now we're going to do our dragon. So look for your center tab, your center slit on the fold. And on this card, the dragon is in that one. His feet go in the front. Put the heart in the back. This one is the floppiest one. My brown was not very thick. And turn it over. And then we're going to pull these out and lay them down. Start here with the back. Slide it through the slit in the bottom. Remember, the side that you want to see from the front of your card is face up. Flip it over. Glue the tab to the bottom. Oops. And on this one, we're going to start with the feet. Down, flip it over, we're going to glue it to the bottom. Now we're going to put in our center. We're going to glue it to the tab, glue our tab to the center. Lift it up here and glue it here as well. Fold this tab up. The top tab is down straight. Now we're gluing them face to face, okay? So only put glue on the pink tabs. And now glue them face to face. Sure you've got those sticking. We've got our tabs glued together and our inserts glued to the bottom. Oops. And there's our dragon. He's adorable. He's a big guy, and there they are. There are the 3 cards in this series. Thank you for joining me.